Greetings, fellow humans. Welcome to the Tuesday Tirade Entertainment Talk Show with Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge. How are you doing today, Tom?
I'm doing the best I can. How are you, sir?
I'm up and running. I feel like we've got places to go, things to see, and only about an hour to do so because Tom is going to be playing host over on the Midnight's Edge member stream, which is when, Tom?
In roughly an hour from now, so just over.
Okay. So we need to hustle and hurry and get through these things. We don't have a whole lot. There was a lot of news that dropped in the last little bit regarding the Emmys, but I don't know how interested we are in this. Let's throw a slap at it, and then we'll move on to the next thing. What do you think?
Sure.
All right. We've got Emmy snubs and surprises. Falcon and Winter Soldier, Ted Danson, Masked Singer, Small Axe are all shunned. The Boys proves superpowered. As does Karate Kid, but not for some reason for whatever reason they didn't put that in here. Anyway, we'll roll down. So it looks like they unveiled the 73 Primetime Oscar Emmy Award nominations, and of course they lack jubilation for some. Well, of course, they also have a bunch of shows that aren't getting Emmy nominations because they didn't fit into the broadcast window that the Emmys requires because they had production delays. So shows like I mentioned this morning, like, oh my gosh, the Marvelous Miss Maisel, who, that seems to be one that wins all the time. It's not going to work. And they highlight some more, like Succession, Killing Eve, Grace and Frankie, and Better Call Saul, because of the production delays. And, of course, Schitt's Creek, and those aren't going to make it there either. So, let's see. Noticeably, unlike last year, the Cedric the Entertainer hosted 2021 Emmys will air on CBS on September 19th. And that should be interesting. Looks like they'll try to do a good job. Obviously, the snubs are the most important thing to people, which include the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan will get no recognition for their efforts. Then you have, of course, guest actor nomination actually for the show, for this particular show, went to Don Cheadle. He was in the show for a minute. I don't know. How long was he in the show? Tom, do you even know?
I don't know. I didn't watch that shit.
No, I didn't think so. Ted Danson got... well, I don't blame you. Ted Danson did not get the nod for Mr. Mayor, and whatever this DeSeuss and Mero thing is didn't do very well. Small Axe, they didn't want to do anything. Ethan Hawke, they didn't want to do anything with. For the Good Lord Bird, let's see, you've got Masked Singer, got nothing. The Undoing, Joseph Fiennes for his work in Handmaid's Tale as the villain, got nothing. Let's see. Let's get past all that. The surprises. This is the other part that people get interested in. And that is Cobra Kai, Netflix streamer spinoff from Karate Kid, kicks down the Emmy door. Actually, they did that for comedy. Tom, is Cobra Kai a comedy?
Well, kind of, sort of, and it's more comedic than it initially was in the original inception of Karate Kid. But as the show has gone along, the tone has really shifted more towards what the
Funny.
original films were. Well, the funnier stuff was earlier on, I would say.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't have ever classified it as a comedy, but okay. The Boys, of course, Amazon's Sauce anti-superhero series tore through the best drama category, which means they had a bunch of nominations. And Emily in Paris, I know nothing about. So, Tom, when it comes to the Emmys, how interested are you in these?
I am more interested in my friend named Emmy, who I don't have.
I see. All right. So, in other words, not. Any thoughts on any of those things I just read to the world?
I have high hopes for Cobra Kai, but other than that, nobody gives a shit. I mean, we're in a world now where nobody gives a shit about the Oscars or the Grammys.
Yeah.
So who in the hell is going to give a shit about the Emmys?
About the television awards? Yeah, nobody cares. And we got 36 of you in the stream. I want to say hi to all of you that have popped in. Maybe get Tom to read a super chat or two so I don't have to.
I mean, really, it's just more famous people stroking their fucking egos.
Yeah.
Which,
Actually,
have we not had enough of that in the last couple of years here?
you're not wrong. I mean, we've seen it in real time. Consider it. They were live streaming from their houses, because they were just like you and me, Tom. Were they just like you and me, Tom? Is Ellen just like you?
You know, she's trapped
Oh,
in that
was.
in that house.
Yeah, like a prisoner.
It's horrible. Like a prisoner. She knows what it's like now.
Yeah, being yeah. A lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of Thoth is here. We've got Canadian Spider-Man here. We've got Brightest Day here. Apollo Patriots in the house. Montana. Should have been a cowboy. Should have learned to rope and ride. Absolutely. Yeah, the Rob Zombie thing. I read that in the 6-minute daily today. Did you see that he's already crafted the house, designed the house floor plan for the Munsters?
Well, I knew they had to be far enough along when they announced it with him. And I mean, yeah.
Mm.
I'm not really against this. I mean, the motherfucker owns the Dragula, for Pete's sake. So, I mean, he is obviously a fan.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he said he's been chasing this movie for 2 decades. You believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We know he's a fan. The question is Montana right? Is he going to ruin it?
I don't think so. I mean, I really do truly think he's a fan. So I think in this instance, we're all right. I mean, yeah. Well, Halloween's a little bit different story. He wasn't ever a really huge fan of Halloween. He even said that shit right up front when he was making the movie. I mean, you can clearly tell the man probably was a bigger fan of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I mean, honestly, he should have been the one to direct that instead. But anyhow, I digress.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had some good, mostly bad, but he does his thing. And when it comes to this, I think he's a fan. He's talked about it for years. Like I said, he owns the Dragula from the original show. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always hopeful, but rebooting stuff instead of creating new is always a problem. And somebody actually said that today in the 6-minute daily chat. I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Stone Cold Jeremy sends us a super sticker. It's that cute little Shiba Inu dog going, how's it going? Well, how's it going with you? Good to see you, Stone Cold Jeremy. Appreciate all the support you give everybody, my friend. It's awesome. We got so many other people rolled in here. We got, of course, the great Makani in the house. What's up, Makani? We've got Gug Fugel, Mr. Dragon, D. Bud Martin. Hey, that's a crew member for the Latino Slant crew. What's going on? Storyman here. We got, of course, the Larry. What's up, Larry? Name so great you have to say it twice. Keck 44 is in the house. Let's see. Oh, Runner's here too. Runner must have a day off. I'm seeing Runner around a lot. Mags is in the house. Nobody. Yeah, I don't know. None of these Marvel shows are worth an Emmy. No, almost none of the shows are out equal an Emmy. I think. Montana. What do you think, Tom? Emmys in general? No bueno.
Nah. It would have been funny if Gina Carano got nominated for Mandalorian. I would have laughed.
They submitted her, and the Mandalorian got a ton of nods for Emmys, I believe. They just didn't put him in that article. You know what? I'll pull that out at some point in time when I care, but right now I don't. Humor and Waffles says hi to everybody. Low spec. Man, Eric K's in the house. What's up, Eric K? Kai MFS is here. Kitty Bear. Sorry, guys. Just saying hi to everybody real quick. Ironcaster. The Islington girls here. Hello, love. Nikki D's in the house. What's up, Nikki D? Rogue Disney. Speaking of Disney, did you see Clownfish dropped another video today?
I didn't get a chance to see it, but I'm not. What was the topic? Because I think I heard something about it.
The Disney Plus slows down. Disney Plus slows down.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they dropped another one too, but I think that one's going to be, the one I'm going to focus on today because if they run in some circles that would have some information like that, so that'll be fun to watch. We also saw this coming, right, Tom, with the Disney subs kind of petering out because the way they roll.
Oh yeah, we've been talking about that for a while. I mean, I think they've hit their peak. I don't think they're going to get much more than they have unless they open in more territories as far as that goes.
Yeah, I think so. Well, they keep opening the territories, but it keeps killing the ARPU, so they keep having to raise the price of their other services. For example, in a story I barely got to report on the 6 Minute Daily, ESPN Plus is about to raise their price too, another buck. You know that?
Not surprised. It's pretty typical.
Yeah, and I think they did that instead of raising Disney Plus like they had planned coming up next month. I think they opted for ESPN so that then they can redo Disney Plus another buck next year. I think you're going to see that. I mean, Hulu's already top of the market. If you look at that, I mean, there's only one thing that's more expensive than Hulu, and that's AT&T's TV Now thing, their Direct TV Now thing or whatever. Hulu's nuts, man. They're tied with I think YouTube TV and somebody else. Maybe it's Fubo, whatever you say.
Fubo, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad to see everybody in the house. Thinking Fearder's here. Got lots of folks. So thank you for coming by. Mags with a super sticker as well. Appreciate that. What's up, Mags? Can't wait to see you over at the members stream. Makini Draw throws us a super sticker as well, which is another Shiba Inu saying my hero. Well, thank you very much for the $3 super sticker, Makini. Let's get moving forward into the next the actual topics. I can't really call the two things we covered topics. I mean, did we cover two things? Did we get to this? No, we didn't.
No, we only got to the Emmy bit.
Oh man. Here's this weird thing called the Wheel of Time film adaptation. This guy, they hired Zach Stentz, who wrote Thor. I think that's the only good thing he's written. That's my opinion. To write three of these films. According to this story, screenwriter Zach Stentz, Thor and X-Men First Class, to pen the script for the first three planned motion pictures based on Robert Jordan's best-selling series of books, The Wheel of Time, which I think would be great if they actually did that. But this first film, of course, he says all the right things. I've been a fan of Robert Jordan's work for many years, blah, blah, blah. Always found it most intriguing. I'll be excited to be bringing this era Robert Jordan conceptualized to life. That always sounds like I'm going to change it. Well, of course they are. We are fortunate to have an accomplished storyteller, says the president of IWAT. So we'll see where that goes. But here's the words. The movie will be set several millennia before the time of the books. Does this sound familiar to anybody? And of course,
just like that Lord of the Rings bit, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, the Age of Legends film, which is the first of the three films, will complement the storylines of the soon-to-be featured TV series from Sony Pictures Television and Amazon Studios.
I really know very little about this franchise, so I have little to add to it. But I mean, I know this was what was brought in to kind of take over for Conan when they dumped that, and I mean, I really don't know the franchise, I guess is the best way to put it. So I can't speak to that, but I can imagine anybody who's a fan, and I know a few people in our community who are. I know they're not really looking forward to this, and I don't blame them. Considering the things that we've dealt with in the last few years, you can only imagine basically what's going to come of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what, this is a good point. When Disney Plus is going to try to hit your card every month, and this
Mhm,
was one of the problems they were going to experience with churn.
mhm,
Is originally the largest chunk of subscribers they got in the US was part of that giant bundle deal where if you paid 3 years in advance, or you got this incredibly discounted rate for
mhm,
the services. That's all set to start expiring here in August.
mhm.
You know, so if people don't update their credit cards and they stop using the service and don't realize that they aren't getting it, Disney's going to keep trying to hit their credit card every month.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's part of the game, ain't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how all these services really, they love those kind of customers. That's their favorites. But Amazon is one of those where like they can afford this shit one way or the other.
Oh, for this studio, yeah, I think so. And right now they don't have any studio partner or distributor for this film. So they announced they have a writer. They don't have anybody set up to do it. So you think Amazon will probably take it too
For which
for this Wheel of Time thing?
they
This
already
film.
are. Or you
Well, no,
mean,
they're doing the TV stuff, but this is
yeah.
actually 3 films. So I mean,
Oh, I have no
I'm
idea
making an
then.
assumption. Yeah, I'm making an assumption it's either going to be Sony or Amazon that picks it up to run it as a film because it's already going to be out there. They already have kind of the world built out. It
Hmm.
just makes sense. So
Could be.
I guess we'll have to see. But you know, let's get to some more chats here, and then we'll move on to the last thing, which is going to take the bulk of the time. There's 53 of you here. Thank you for being here, guys. Appreciate that. I think Darius Munchausen sends us a box of popcorn. Thank you for that, my friend. Appreciate that. Wheel of Time is precious to so many people. I hope they nail it. But if he doesn't, it will be Bloodbaths and Armageddon, probably. Hey, Lindsay. It's a very popular franchise. It really is. Um,
I mean, I never really had heard of it before, so
yeah. Actually, well, I'm gonna do a review on some stuff here pretty soon. That's more oriented towards younger folks. That supposedly is pretty good and doesn't have a lot of politics in it, and I think is featured on Disney. To be honest with you, so but I'll get to that when I actually do it. Uh, Tox Fox liked First Class, so okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, Nikki D. Here we go. Nikki D for $5 says, "I'm surprised the D plus subscriptions might be slowing down despite the MCU shows. Guess their popularity may have been overestimated." Well, Tom, do you have a thought?
um they don't. Well, here's the thing is they haven't really had they kind of pulled this. They really rushed. Both them and HBO Max rushed to get this thing out there, and they really didn't have the content yet to support it.
Right.
um and especially having the content to get people's like that they have to get it. The Marvel is a good thing, don't get me wrong, but just don't see them until they get some more content beyond Marvel and more Star Wars and other things to really bring people in. I know that Monsters Inc. series just started or whatever, I think. They need to really ramp it up a lot more. HBO Max needs to do the same thing though, so it's not like Disney's the only one. So,
No. It's interesting because think about how many things Amazon has had in production, for a while now, and they keep trying to accelerate their content creation. Netflix, when they saw the writing on the wall with these other studios taking all their movies and stuff back, they started to kick in their content generators too. So I think you're right. I think Disney Plus and HBO Max are going to be playing catch up for a bit, and I think that's why HBO's merger with Discovery is a good thing, because now you'll
Yeah.
have a bunch of easily created content with all of
Right.
their what do you call it, garbagey, like um, unscripted programming, right? So, but it gets a lot of views. I mean, a lot of people like it. So, and I will admit, I like a lot of the house building stuff. The rebuild and stuff like that. But I'm weird. I'm weird.
Mhm.
Mags is saying hi to everybody. Hey, Geek Time TV. 6 Geek Time TV. Interesting. Hi, Culture. Tell Tom I said hi. Okay. Is this 6?
Hi, 6.
I see a 6. I got my Disney with my Verizon phone, right? And you have to have a certain plan, and then eventually, after that plan expires, you have to pick between one of their other things or Disney Plus. It's really weird.
Mhm.
I haven't renewed my Disney Plus since the first season of Mandalorian. Don't anytime soon. Yeah, a lot of people are in this boat. Hey, what's up, Mr. Tickle Trunk with the super sticker? Appreciate you, my friend. I think that is probably Shiba Inu. Yeah, what's going on? Shiba Inu. Fart and hearts, my favorite little sticker. It just doesn't surprise me. So obviously, I'm gonna have to check out that video that dropped by Clownfish and see what their thoughts are.
Uh-huh.
And I'm always interested in that. Plus, I got to stop by this member stream that you're gonna have in about 40 minutes. So
You. I think you are a member anyway, but
I
yeah.
am. I'm a member, but I'll try by.
Like I told you, you
Subhuman.
can jump in. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Subhuman 84. I only have Hulu and HBO Max just to watch anime and DC. And that, you know what? There's a lot of people that are in that boat too. I mean, there are people who hung on that were hanging on to their Netflix account just for specific animes. So I see that. Yeah, I hope they keep Berserk protected. That'd be good. Mr. Tickle Trunk, I really miss being able to watch you guys live, says Mr. Tickle Trunk for a $2 Canadian super
Oh,
chat.
what's the matter? Stuck at work or what's up?
Yeah, he's working.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Oh, Rob Altus is here. Oh, did I missed your super chat, Rob?
Yeah, you did actually, I think.
Rob Altus, I am so sorry, my friend. Let me see if I can still grab it. Oh, that is terrible.
It's not on
How
here.
did
You're probably gonna have to go into the
I'm gonna have
because
to
I
go.
can't remember what he said either now. I
I
did
can
remember
read it.
seeing it though.
Rob Altus, I'm sorry for this. Normally I'd highlight it. Rob, I'm very sorry. He says for $2, will he use the original Munster coach, the Drugula?
Oh, that's right.
He owns it.
Here's my guess: is it'll probably show up in some kind of cameo in the background somewhere at some point. But they'll probably, being a movie, big budget new Hollywood movie, they'll probably design a new one and build a new because they'll actually probably have multiples.
Well, yeah, they'll have to, especially like you have a lot of purpose-built vehicles for shooting
Right.
and stuff. So yeah.
So my guess is it'll just be one of those things where they just kind of like,
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that, Rob. I apologize.
it might show up in a cameo. I think,
Yeah,
in like the
I hope.
background somewhere or something.
I love that show. I love the original show so very much. I just don't want them to ruin it.
I'm not above those shows getting remakes. They've tried a few times with.
Well, think about the remake of
Like
the
that.
Addams Family with Raul Julia.
Well, that was great. Well, that's why I was surprised they tried to do a TV version of the Munsters then, and it was all right. They had decent cast and whatnot, but it just
Really?
didn't really go anywhere. Yeah, they've tried it a couple different times. This
I
is
don't
actually
recall that.
yeah, there was one in the guy who played Herman was the lead vampire from Lost Boys.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, what's his name? The guy who used to do all the Dodge commercials. I can't think of his name. But he was perfect. And yeah, it was decent. And then they did a couple of crappy ones, and then there was one recently where it was like a reimagining of it, and it had like kind of newer versions of the characters, and it was from not Lily's perspective, but what's her face, the normal girl, their niece. Can't think of her name.
Wow.
Marion, is that it? I can't remember. Anyway, it was more from her perspective. I can't remember. I didn't really watch it, so whatever. Edward Herman, that's his name. Thank you, Humor and Waffles.
Huh. Mr. Trickle Trunk says, much love for Canadian $2 and hit the like button, everyone. Thank you for that as well. I appreciate your support, Mr. Tickle Trunk, and everything that you do for so many. Man, I hate missing super chats. It makes me feel bad. They want a US credit card, so VPN doesn't work. You can buy US credit cards digitally.
Yeah.
The prepaid credit cards you can buy digitally and go and get around it that way and just refill it. It's one of the ways to get around that stuff. What's up, Dark Shadow Logan? 90 Day Fiance is an unending, hilarious calamity. See, these people are going to stick up for these shows that I said were garbage. So now I feel bad. Speaking of member streams, Tom, did you know that I'm trying to have a member stream this week or maybe next week? I had to put today, for my members. So
just let me know. I'll try and hop in.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome. Phone plan is how I have HBO Plus or whatever the streamer service is called, and only because it came with the phone plan. Yeah, Gug Fugel, I think a lot of people are in that boat. And here's the thing: those are churn problems that create extra churn when those deals expire. So, wow. Yeah, I meant a member of the channels, Eric. Yeah. I think you sent a super chat with that too. I'll get to it. Willie Woodward's in the chat for $1. What's up, Willie? Good to see you, buddy. I've been missing you. I hope you're doing well. Wait a minute. He doesn't own the original coach?
I thought he did. Unless that or he has a very good updated version of it. Or some version of it, because I thought he did. Oh, yeah, it is a different version that he has.
Ah, dang. All right. For whatever reason, I'd heard the same thing. See, this is the problem. It's called the Mandela effect, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Thanks for that, Rob. Appreciate it. The drug, though, was Grandpa's car. That's... Fair enough. Learn something every day, and I appreciate it. You guys are very knowledgeable. Let's see.
I always thought he did too. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. You hear something, and then you put it into memory, and maybe it's not accurate. We do that. We deal with that all the day, all the time.
At least I know I'm not alone on this one, because there's a lot of people who have said that. Yeah.
Yeah. You're writing this off because it's Rob Zombie? Well, Willie, I don't know. We'll see. Critical the cat, the super cat now. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for this. Kiefer Sutherland? He's awesome. Yeah, Edward Herman. Yeah. What a great funny delivery, just wonderful. Your Muslim uncle, hey, what's going on? Yeah, Top Chief, Chef, right? That's one of those Discovery Plus shows, right? A lot of people like that.
Yep.
Yeah, they're redoing Munsters. Yeah, we'll have to see. But it's Rob Zombie. Is Rob Zombie woke? I don't know if he is.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, Eric K spent $5. Thank you, Eric K. If you didn't, I read your thing, but I'll read this again. I heard Culture Casino has a big member. Oh, Tom, you meant member of your channel. Yes. You guys, funny. Let's see. I have HBO Max just to rewatch True Detective and Outsider. A lot of people watch True Blood. And a lot of people watch the first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones, repeatedly. I mean, there's a lot of good programming on HBO Max. Tom, your thoughts on those things? HBO Max.
I like HBO Max. I mean, of all the streaming services, I watch that one the most, probably. I'm always finding a movie on there that I want to watch or haven't seen in forever. I'm like, oh shit, you know. In fact, just the other day, I just watched RKO 281. I mean, there's always something cool on there.
Wow, Rob Altus has all of this great information. Dragula was the dragster, and the original coach is the family car. Yeah, which
Gotcha.
is very unique. It's very unique shape and everything. I really thought that was with the open not open thing. You guys are so funny. New Bum Turk in the house. Not a fan of profanity, and that's saying something because I swear like a sailor. Well, at least in the Munsters didn't have anything that was even close to borderline back then. It was a pretty good show. I don't know. Anyway, unfortunately, we have to move on because we want to get to this last thing, and I want to give Tom a chance to comment on it. And here we go. This is from The Numbers. It's one of the few places that I trust. I think that Odin of OMB Reviews. What's he calling himself now?
I think it's OMB Reviews.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I think he uses The Numbers as well. A lot of people have moved that direction. So they say that weekend estimates Black Widow earns 80 million in theaters, breaks 100 million with Disney Plus sales. Again, the big story here is that they actually were willing to report a $60 million windfall from this film. And we talked about this at length yesterday, Tom, on Midnight's Edge in the morning. And I did a little more talking about it on my video from yesterday. You have any fresh thoughts on that or no?
I mean, it really, this whole thing, again, it sucks because the movie isn't as bad as all of what they're putting on the movie now. Like, they are, like, it's real. I have a hard time now not accepting the fact that there's probably some shenanigans involved between this and Captain Marvel's box office and how Disney's handling it. Now, I don't want to throw out specifics. I know you and I discussed this a little bit the other day on the morning show, and you and I talked about it in other places, and other people have as well. And everybody's like talking about empty theaters and what Disney would have to gain or lose by trying to inflate numbers and doing things, but they're doing it right out in the open. And that Variety article was like, yes, finally, and that's the thing, is that we've had a lot of articles lately in other outlets really starting to finally catch on, or I guess I wouldn't say catch on, but they're probably getting to the point where they realize, oh, we cannot, avoid the inevitable. We sooner or later the truth is going to be out there, kind of thing.
Right.
Kind of like how the media also learned to deal with all this TDS bullshit where everything was like, they're freaking on it, but now they're like, well, technically, it's like, yeah, idiots. We know you just had, your head up your ass.
Yeah.
And really that's what it is these, and there's more to that, of course, because there's the access part of it too. Like, let's not forget that plays a big part in this. But the fact that, Disney is kind of being called out on this, and a lot of the article you're talking about, I did see the article, but I hadn't seen the video yet that Clownfish did, where, yeah, they're reaching the turning point, or whatever you want to call it, on their subscribers with Disney, which is not a good thing. That means they're not going to get anywhere fucking near what they need. And let's face it, do you really think a lot of those people who went to see Black Widow in the theaters would have paid for it on Disney Plus? No, because they would have otherwise. That means there's that many people, which is a large majority more, that are not willing to pay that kind of price for a movie right away. And 30 is not even that bad. Remember, folks, I've said this now for over a year, and actually prior to that, the studios want to get, and they would love to get, to a point where you pay a lot more than $30 for a premium film when they have complete and utter control over it. Because that's the whole thing, is they want to get you to the point where you're paying about $60 or more for one of these movies. So this $30 thing is good for now, but it ain't going to stay there. Their goal is to get it back up to where the rental prices were. Because back in the day with videos, as you know, Culture, to buy a video wasn't cheap. And that's kind of what they're trying to do. Is
$69
They're
for
missing that revenue, guys. They have been
yeah.
missing that revenue for years.
Yeah, you remember the VHS tapes were $70 a whack way back in the day, and it was like, ugh, it was like
I mean, I got to remind people there's movies like The Lion King that have made just as much money on video as they did in the box office. That's fucking insane.
secondary
That means
revenue.
overall that movie is technically made over $1 billion. I'm talking about the original, not the stupid remake, of course. Because it made like almost 500 million in the box office. It made like 500 million on video, which is fucking insane. Between that, I think Avatar beat it, but like between those two are like the highest selling videos of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the Avatar film was like it was nuts. And do you think about how many times they re-released the Blu-ray, and how
Oh
many
god,
different
3 or
ways it
4,
was
yeah.
released? Yeah, it was. I was like, oh my gosh, from DVD to Blu-ray, and then they offered a digital version,
Well,
and
there's the extended cut on top of
yeah,
that, and then the 3D
yeah,
version and all that shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah, I might own 4 copies of that.
I have the 3D Blu-ray. I think that's it, but yeah.
Oh man, I have it too. Yeah, I know you're down on 3D televisions, but I really did enjoy mine for the period of time there was content for it.
I
So,
mean,
and
I
I
enjoy it when I can. Yeah,
I liked playing video games, so 3D video games on it too, because one of the Uncharted's
that's
was on.
really what I need to get out is my Sony VR because that's kind of fun to even watch 3D
Oh,
movies with.
it is. It's very good. Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the way that headset's built. But
Well, and it's kind of cool because like even Hulu and other things have like things built into the VR where you go in and you're like in this virtual reality where like the screen is like this big screen on your wall and or whatever. You can even there's even one that's on like a beach. It's cool. It's been a while since I dug it out, but not that I had the time. Well, and that's
wow,
another thing, Six, is that with all the piracy issue, all the points I bring up, they're learning slowly. They just didn't want to admit it up front,
yeah,
and that's the thing. And God knows, I bet you $5 Black Widow has the biggest drop off of a Marvel movie in its second weekend. You want to put some money on it, Culture, or you? I don't think you're confident enough to, because I think the
I,
same as I do with all the piracy and shit that this movie's not going to have a good second weekend.
well, here's the thing, and again, I mean, I'm not going to talk specifically about the film because I just
Right.
I'm only interested in the numbers, and the numbers are if you look at the model, if you look at what's been happening, if with all of these films that have come out, you're losing 50% of your audience on the second week. Your 50% of your audience goes away. It
That's
was
the
50,
average that I saw yesterday. Yeah.
and it's like I've seen as much as 57 to 60% fall off week over
Yeah.
week. And I mean, and that's been the same pattern. It doesn't matter what the film is, FS9,
Well, that's
Godzilla versus
because these
Kong.
Marvel movies are the event films. You go see them the opening weekend. That's where
Yep,
the bulk of their money is.
yep.
And then after that, the residuals are whatever's left over of people who aren't as big of fans and those who are coming back for second and whatever helpings. Uh, the fact that this movie is out in pristine copies on digital means that you're not going to get the repeat business. We
No,
saw
no, and
that happen with Rise of Skywalker. Don't say it can't.
yeah.
Sure, that movie made made just over $1 billion,
Mhm.
but that didn't really make much of a profit for that film because it was so fucking
No.
expensive and they shot it 3 goddamn times.
Yeah. And that's the thing is these films are becoming less profitable. I mean, dramatically less profitable. This thing had a reported budget of 200 million, which we know they overshot. It also had a giant, multiple campaigns to market it because it has the initial campaign and they couldn't release the film. And then it had a slow rolling campaign and then it had this big push right towards its release. So you don't think they threw a ton of money at this thing multiple times? Think about how many times you saw like ads on YouTube or Twitter or whatever. Just insane. Insane. I don't know. I don't think this thing's gonna make a lot of money.
Oh,
Monkey
this
Gene
was
is
the most heavily advertised film of the year. I guarantee it.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
one I know I've seen just about everywhere. And there's still ads for it.
Yeah, New Bomb Turks has seen it on an alternate streaming site the day it hit theaters. A lot of people did. A lot of people did. It'll be Slack Wido. Yeah, it's going to be weird. I'm worried about it. Lady Turiel, I don't want to do a review of the film until I've seen it. I didn't have to see it because I knew what was happening in the film. Everything that I was told exactly, almost beat for beat, happened in this film. So I didn't have interest in it going in, but I will watch the film since I've heard it's not as politically driven as it could have been. Yeah. Marketing hasn't dropped because if you do lose customers and recognition. Yeah, yeah, they did lose it. Um, I don't know what that is, but anyway, let's scroll down here. You can see the comparison for the weekend estimates: 9 to 11. Estimated box office was 111. Predicted box office was 120. They fell short. Last weekend, the top six did 61. So they were expecting this thing to do gangbusters. They projected it at 80 million. They predicted it at 87 million, and they came in 92% of the prediction. Even Fast Saga is falling off a cliff. I mean, we'll take a look at those here in a second. Let's move on from the Nash stuff to more Nash stuff. So weekend predictions: 13 million in previews put 100 million weekend together. Now, here's the thing. Let's look at these numbers, Tom. Um, when the numbers came in, it was 13 million on previews between 5 p.m. and midnight on Thursday, and then it went to it got all its Friday numbers, and I got to find those. Where's that? Is it here? Yeah. Um, so here we are. So it got all of its money here in the previews and the Friday. 39.5 million plus 13.2. And then it fell off a cliff. It dropped 41% into Saturday, like I reported yesterday.
I'm
20.
kind of impressed with the Sunday number though, because that's not too shabby, but considering it fell from that, that's not great.
It fell off another 25%.
Yeah, that's not real good. I mean, that's good for most movies, but for a Marvel film like that on a weekend like this that was technically a holiday weekend in some ways, you could kind of finagle it that way. Because I know a lot of people had the whole week off last week and shit like that for the holiday. And
Yeah.
well, some people are still off in general. I mean, they're really trying to make it look like this movie did a lot better than it did. Let's be fucking real. Let's be really, really real here about this. Because even if you add the other 2 million people who bought it on Disney Plus, if they went to see it in theaters, yeah, that amount they're reporting, they're technically getting all that in their pocket, pretty much, whatever minus
Almost
whatever
all of it.
points
Yeah.
that have to go out, because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there are certain people who do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing that's saving their ass on this movie. Let's be real. Like, you can't deny the movie will probably make a profit. They are probably right. It will be the number one movie of the year until later this year. Those kind of things, I just think they're being very pretentious about it and they're pushing it. I don't know if I believe the actual box office number. And we have to just take them at their word for the Disney Plus
The
sales.
Disney Plus number. Yeah.
Do I think they're lying? No, not necessarily, but that's pretty fucking high compared to what we've gotten for other reports like Cruella and shit.
Well,
Because
and
I know
that's
a lot of people who watched Cruella, and it
yeah.
seems like honestly, I feel like more people watched Cruella than did Black Widow. I've ran into more people who haven't seen Black Widow yet.
Well, yeah. This is frustrating for me because I wanted the film to be good, and again, we're not going to review the film, but I thought it would be nice if something performed well, and this is by far the biggest opening they've had, but in order to push it to what expectations kind of felt like they should be, they had to throw out those Disney Plus numbers. Now that I'm going to say this one more time, and maybe it'll be the last time I say it. I doubt it. Now they're screwed because every time they release a film, people are going to want to know what the Disney Plus numbers were the first weekend. So they put themselves in a position they never wanted to be in, and if they don't, tell you what those numbers are, it's going to cast doubt on the film's actual legitimate performance. This was not. This wasn't in their best interest to release those numbers.
They are, because it's the first time they've had a success. Let's be real. That's why I was shitting on that one article so hardcore. It was like, there's no fucking way they can sit there and say that this is working when they've only had one technical success. And they're not even looking at the long term, because, yeah, they did well this first weekend. But as we've been pointing out since the start, this movie's going to fall off a cliff in the theaters because it's available everywhere in streaming. And anybody who's going to go see it hadn't seen it already, or they bought it on Disney Plus. And that's the other side of it. Everybody who's going to buy it already bought it on Disney Plus. Those numbers ain't going to go up. Not anywhere near where they need them to. This movie cost $200 million. It's going to barely squeak a profit. And that's if they're lucky, because I'm willing to bet, like I said, they spent the amount of money on this for advertising, maybe even more than they normally would for a movie, to get the point out there that it is on Disney Plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's insane. I look, and again, I mean,
McKinney sent you in a nice $20 super chat.
he did, absolutely.
You want me to read it, or you got it?
Yeah, no, you go. This is for
Says
you.
Tom, I think you're hitting the nail on the head there. I don't think Disney is lying per se, but it's clear that they are being pretentious and showboating over the numbers. Black Widow may still fall short in terms of all overall growth. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. They can sit there and there. I saw the same thing with Troll 2, or whatever the fuck it was called, Trolls World Tour, when Universal was like, "Yep, we're going straight to digital. Fuck you, theaters." It's like, oh, that's pretty pretentious of you. Sure, that's probably where this is headed, but you realize you just showed your ass there. And now when you look at it, they're the ones who have the longest time period between their films dropping in theaters and going to streaming as far as the studios go. The only other one that I don't know quite offhand what they're planning is Sony, but they're still in that window too. But again, this whole thing's been ridiculous for the last year. It just makes me sit back and laugh how right I've been about all this shit.
Dude, I'm seriously. I mean, you've been the Nostradamus of what's going on there, and I'm that's not lost on me. And Elijah Snow points out they've accidentally placed themselves in a higher transparency expectations. And yes, and if you're looking at this as a financial analyst, right, you just went, "What did you just do?" Because at least we had the smoke and mirrors before with the streaming service numbers with this Disney Premier Access thing. Now we don't have that anymore. We can't hide how much we made there. There's no financial chicanery. And again, going forward, what's the expectation going to be? I'm serious. I'm going to want to know after every single film release, including Jungle Cruise, which is coming up in 2 weeks, Tom. It's on the 28th, not the 30th, so I missed that by a couple days. They're going to have to do the same thing, or that film will be called into question. It was just dumb.
Well, Jungle Cruise they have an out with, because of all their films that they've done anything with their rides, the only one that's done anything has been Pirates of the Caribbean. They're even trying to do another Haunted Mansion thing. So if this thing fails, they can just go, oh, well, this whole thing of making our rides into movies, it doesn't work in the reverse. They're just going to they're going to rest on that. And, it's got The Rock in it, so people are going to see it. Even though I brought up several times, he's not like this big box office pull on his own. Something like this will work for him, especially in a family setting. He's kind of like the new Arnold Schwarzenegger, so people love to see him do this kind of a thing. I think it'll do okay, but will it do like the kind of numbers that Pirates did? No. I really don't see it doing that.
No. Man. Oh, wait, you got a new nickname. Nostril Thomas. Sniffing out the... Yes, thank you, Doug.
I love that. That's good.
That's good. Regular people eat everything up. It's just nerds that care about the small things that piss us off. That might be true, Monkey Jeebus.
That is true, Monkey Jeebus, but I still stand by it's going to fall off a cliff next weekend harder than any Marvel film has before. And it's all going to be because they shot themselves in the foot. They kept claiming, oh no, it's not going to be day and date, and then it ended up being day and date. And Andre and I kept saying that that's what's going to happen. And I can't believe they even did that in the middle of what's happening now, because they could have changed their mind at the last minute. And Black Widow probably would have been the biggest post-pandemic opening, and probably would have done closer to the actual 120 million in theaters. But I think they knew they had a stinker on their hands, or at least not a film that's it's not fair to call it a stinker.
It's not a stinker, yeah.
But it's a divisive film. It's arguably one of the worst films since probably Iron Man 2 or Thor Dark, whatever one you want to put there.
Iron Man 3.
Maybe Iron Man 3 if you didn't like it, whatever. But well, that one did okay in the box. I'm talking about the ones that didn't perform as well.
Oh, that underperformed? Yeah, Iron Man 2.
Yeah, like Ant-Man 2, something like that, to where even though I enjoyed it.
Gosh, that was
but something to where, like, I think they were afraid that was going to happen. So they did this way, and they were pre-planned it all in a way. It's weird. I know it sounds weird that you can even do that, but they have their ways. And I think they've shown their hand now. They really showed their hand. They should have just let this one go and let it ride. I bet you it would have done so much better than what they did.
Better. And it wouldn't have got pirated. There's a lot of real good reasons why they should have done it the other way. But hey, and again, to me, it's going to be the funniest stuff that's going to happen now, because they've already let you in the door. They let you peek through the glass, and now they can't pull the shades again, or they'll be called out on it. Tom, you want to read this one from Adam Wofford for $5 super chat?
These movie studios have to make choices. These movie studios have to make a choice: straight to streaming or theaters. They can't have both, and it's a matter of time before they figure that out.
Maybe.
In this instance, I think if they would have played this right, they could have had their cake and ate it too. But I think the resistance on the theater's parts to work with, or the studio's parts to work with the theaters from the start on this thing, and now putting the theaters in a stronger position than they had been in the last 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
Was their own fault. And I don't feel the least bit sorry for them.
No.
They're going to attempt to continue to do this both at the same time. And it is kind of the future, don't get me wrong. But what they're going to start to do is you're going to see a lot less of these bigger films go straight to streaming first. Mm-hmm. They'll go into theaters, and a lot of the smaller fare will be the straight to streaming stuff. And it may be positive for everybody involved, because you might get a lot more smaller films with really great talent behind them that normally wouldn't get the type of attention they normally would have before. Sure. But at the same time, the studios are just gonna have to step back and take a look at what they're doing and reevaluate how they make these movies. The superhero / summer blockbuster formula of spending $200 million on a film and $100 million on advertising and all the shit that goes with it, it's just, it can't stand. Even in a non-woke situation, it wouldn't have been able to continue, because prior to all this shit, I predicted this was going to blow up in their faces, because it's just natural history of Hollywood, and they're just making it worse. So it's like, I mean, it's like you just had a heart attack, but instead of going to the hospital, you go to fucking Burger King. Yeah, it really is what it feels like.
Yeah. Nostril Thomas sniffing it out. I love that. I'm going to keep that one alive. Rogue Disney asked the question, isn't the premiere for Jungle Cruise happening at Disneyland? Yeah, actually, there were already soft openings of the attraction. It is very hollowed out. They tore out its soul and its humor in favor of monkeys and, obvious junk. So there you go. Elijah Snow says, yes, people are gullible, but nerds are the canary in a coal mine. We're way more susceptible to bad adaptation of film. We're the leading indicator. I think every time, and this is 100% true. I think that's a true statement. Yeah, Ant-Man Wasp was garbage. Deadpool advertisement with Korg for Free Guy. I have not. I need to see that. Thank you, Cavatenio Cavalrymanche. We'll check that out. You know what? The boss was not a fan of Black Panther, so you might have someone who agrees with you there in the boss for sure. I didn't find it incredibly exciting. It was as Montana would say, a serviceable film to me. Let's see. Oh no, I clicked on the wrong thing. Threw that up in the way. I love YouTube notifications. Just found out the stream started. Hello, Culture and Tom. 45 minutes in, even though I was 6 Minute Daily and Odyssey News Stream. Well, I'm glad you were there. I'm glad it worked this time. But we, unfortunately, you're going to hate this, Commander Ed Strake of Shadow, have to shut this down.
Tom yeah.
And
if you're a member of Midnight's Edge, though, head on over. We're going to be doing a member stream here in about 10 minutes. And right. Culture might even join us. So there you go.
Yep, I will probably pop in for a few moments before I actually head out to do real work stuff. But I do appreciate everybody being here and everything. Oh my gosh, Nikki D, thank you for the $10 super chat right here at the end. I appreciate that. Says ScarJo says she's done with the Black Widow character. Think the rest of the legacy actors might be replaced due to their increasing price tags.
Yeah, but what pisses me off is Kevin Feige lied to us. He said that these characters can always be recast and all that kind of shit. No, they're replacing them with their lessers. Yeah. And it's getting ridiculous. This is not going to work out well. Granted, they have earned the right to do this, but the way they're doing it is wrong. So far, Black Widow has probably done it the best. I haven't seen Falcon and Winter Soldier to speak for that, but considering how most people feel about it, I doubt it. Florence Pugh is the only incoming new character, though, that I'm actually okay with. I enjoyed her character. And even though that's one of the problems with Black Widow, she was one of the highlights. So there you go. It should have been called maybe Black Widow and whatever. I can't remember her name, but whatever her code name was in the movie. But yeah.
Well, yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, and they messed up the arc for the actual characters. I don't want to go into it. You know what? See the film. At some point in time, I will have a rant about why I'm mad about Iron Maiden and Taskmaster and all that. It is not really a place to do it. I want to say thank you, Tom, for all of the extra minutes you gave me today. Nikki D, thank you for the $10 super chat. I think a lot of the legacy actors are on the way out the door. I think Hemsworth is probably the only one that has likely to stick around. Maybe Cumberbatch for an extra film. And I think that they're slowly going to move into the second phase of the characters that will underperform. That's what I think. And if Hiddleston left, I wouldn't blame him after what they've done to Loki. Anyway, Tom, any last words other than the member stream promotion?
Kumquat, hot dogs, and bubbles.
Excellent. Sounds good. Thank you also very much for joining us today. I do appreciate it. Your support here, in your presence here is, I can't even say enough about how much I'm always flabbergasted by it. So thank you very much for that support. We will be we'll be headed over to the member stream. If you're a member of Midnight's Edge, do check that out. I will be in many other places today. I'm hopefully going to make it to Trekking on Tuesday. But if I don't see you elsewhere, hopefully I see you tomorrow for 6 Minute Daily. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. I say that every time. And until next time, bye.
Tirade, Tuesday tirade, Tuesday tirade, Tuesday tirade, Tuesday tirade, Tuesday tirade. Man, Arnold, fuck the maid. That's what we talk about on Tuesday tirade. But you never know, it might come up.